Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the new 5.7 Spiral Biz has just released, so you already know what time it is when it comes to the teams we're going to be using. First of all, we will be using a Wriothesley team, wherever he is. Let's find him, there we go, alongside of course Furina, Escoffier, as well as Shenhe. And then for the second half, we'll be going for a Mono Pyro Arlecchino team alongside Bennett, Xiangling, and Xilonen as well. Now, when it comes to our character builds, there are a few things I should note. Full character builds will be at the end, but just as a slight disclaimer, I'm using Wriothesley on a level 80 R1 Mapamari, and that's because he is C1 right now, so hopefully this can balance out the damage. And then when it comes to our Arlecchino, she's also using a level 70 R1 Wriothesley because she is also currently C1 as well. We pulled double Arlecchino, and then Wriothesley is the only intentional constellation I've ever pulled for because he was my most favorite DPS ever, so you know I had to get a constellation for him. Also, when it comes to the Spiral Abyss blessings, Arlecchino's performance will not be enhanced by the blessings, but unfortunately Wriothesley's will be. But then again, basically any cryo units will be, so I don't feel too bad about this. So yeah, with that being said, let's just hop right into it. But real quick, if you guys want to pull any new Genshin characters, then I have the perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up in games like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail and save up to 23%, which now applies to Xbox and PS5 as well. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses Hoyo versus partner routes, so you can get the most affordable prices and still enjoy the top-up bonuses you would in-game. Transactions on Lootbar are safe, simple, and secure, as you only need to enter your UID and your region, and you will get fast delivery. I decided I'm gonna buy one of my friends the Welkin Moon as a little gift, so I just go here, copy and paste their UID, and then just have to enter their region, and then I just press top up now, and I received my purchase in literally less than 10 seconds. Creators like Ride and Shotgun, Tevat Times, and Mordex Tryhard are also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have thousands of positive reviews on Trustpilot. And I've used it myself before, so I can vouch for the authenticity, speed, and security. New users can also get an extra 8% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then, here we are on the first chamber. Now, although our Wriothesley will have 100% crit rate basically the entire run as long as cryo is applied, which it basically always will be, because just look how much cryo we can apply on this team with Escoffier's skill, and then Shenhe's ult, and then of course Wriothesley himself. But either way, the crit damage will be nice, and then it will be especially nice when it comes to our Arlecchino half. Now, we are hitting, I did see 100k there on a charge attack, which is actually pretty damn nice. Now, admittedly, that was with all of our buffs up, including Shenhe's quills and ultimate. Although, on the bright side, you know, we are hitting some pretty decent damage. Now, of course, C1 is getting kind of counteracted by the Mapamari, but then we are receiving the 70% cryo damage buff over that, which is why the damage numbers will still be slightly inflated. But like I said, as long as you use any cryo unit, you will be fine. But it actually seems like we're about to 2-cycle this guy here, which is kind of crazy. So we end up clearing in 49 seconds, which honestly I did not even expect. But then again, Wriothesley and Escoffier, as well as Shenhe, are just kind of, as well as Furina, are just kind of OP with each other. Anyway, let's try ahead and group these guys up a bit before we go ahead and do our rotation, so that we can take them out all out in a bit of similar time, so that it can save us a little bit of time at the end. There we go. Okay, now we have this lady here. Now we're just going to do some okay damage to her right now, although the main thing here is we want to have as much cryo applied as we can onto these guys. Okay, that's not ideal, but it's fine either way. Okay, let's just go ahead and use our ult here on Arnie so that we can heal up, and then also apply a bit more Pyro whilst we're at it. Also use the Pyronado here as well. And there we go, that should be the last one. Oh, never mind, I did not even realize there was one more here. Actually, perfect. Wait, that's perfect because they basically just went down exactly where our Bennett circle was, which is perfect. 89k there on one of the hits. We're hitting for between 50 and 80k right now. We do need to go ahead and refresh our buffs. I'm actually going to use Arlecchino's ult so that we can use our skill twice in order to better funnel our Xiangling, because I do actually want to have her ult up, because although we're not reacting anything, so it's not doing like insane damage, you know, about 20 something k per tick is not bad. Of course, she is getting buffs from both Bennett and Xilonen, and there we go, we managed to clear. I didn't see in exactly how much time, but still a pretty decent clear, definitely under 90 seconds, which of course is the recommended time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the second chamber. Alright, and here we are on the second chamber now. I mean, Wriothesley's burst and Arlecchino's burst do a bit of damage, but honestly I think I'll just take the max HP buff. I mean, it'll add a bit of survivability, I guess, and then it will also buff Furina's damage, with, which of course is not negligible whatsoever. Now we do just have to take out 3 ruin enemies here, which should be pretty standard if I'm being honest. There we go, one's already down in 15 seconds. Okay, I thought it was going to spawn on our left, but never mind, it spawns on the right. Unfortunately, we are out of Shenhe's field, so we didn't have all of our usual buffs up, but that's fine either way. Let's go ahead and refresh our rotation all over again. And you know what, honestly, I think I can just finish this guy off with Wriothesley's ult as well. Just use the skill there to make sure we're getting all of Marseille. And now we should be able to take this guy out with just our normal attacks. Okay, I missed my charge attack there. Not ideal, but it's not that big of a damage loss in the main scheme of things. I'm not going to bother using any of our ults here. Just going to go ahead and refresh our Shenhe quills and then Wriothesley E. And there we go, we managed to clear this time in 51 seconds instead of 49, so we're still holding to just under a minute, which is exactly what you want to see. Now what do we have to face here? Okay, it's one of the Sumer mercenaries. I forgot exactly what they're called, if I'm being entirely honest. Honestly, I miss Sumer. I remember back when I was in school and Sumer was coming out, my favorite thing to do was whenever there was a day that the Archon Quest would come out was just to go home and straight away just binge the entire Archon Quest in like 1 or 2 goes. It was literally my favorite thing ever. I do slightly miss those days. I mean, Fontaine was similar. Unfortunately, Natlan has not hit the same for me. But what can I say? Maybe it's after I started uni and stuff like that, but I'm not too certain. Anyway, we do take out this guy's shield, which is useful. Although we do still have 3 enemies or 2 enemies left after this, which I'm not worried about, but I forgot what the enemy lineup was, so I'm not entirely sure what's going to be happening there. Anyway, we're hitting between 70 and 90k right now at the minute. Oh, okay, it's just 2 of these guys. At first, I got scared for a sec, thinking they have pyro resistance, which I'm not sure if they do. Although on the bright side, Xilonen will reduce the pyro res, and then Xiangling's Guoba actually also reduces pyro res by 15%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we are gonna have to heal up here. Oh god, we were very close to dying right there. Actually, because there's 2 of them, we should get more Bond of Life. So I was about to call it Blood Bond. No, it's called Bond of Life. So I didn't actually have to wait for it to proc there, which is nice. Anyway, let's just finish this guy off slightly, and there we go. We still have 45 seconds left to spare, so you know what, we'll go ahead and take that. So that's the second chamber done already, and we're already onto the third chamber, so I'll see you guys there. Alright, and here we are on the third chamber. I mean, I guess I'll take the ER buff. I mean, it would be nice for Xiangling, even though she does have 250 ER. Anyway, we're just gonna go straight ahead and go for the Geo guy, because I do actually want to take out his shield before the elemental one spawns in, because we have a worse way of dealing with Geo than we do Electro. And then I think the Electro guy might teleport here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go ahead and DPS this guy down as much as we can. That's 1 rotation there, so let's go ahead and refresh our buffs for the second rotation. Oh, okay, he has gotten closer. I was hoping he'd get a bit closer so we could hit both at the same time, but this guy's nearly dead anyway. Oh, okay, now you get closer. You know what? Our summons will probably take that guy out. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now we can just focus on taking this guy's shield out, which should refresh our ults once we're done with him, like so. Perfect. Hit the 50k there on the charge attack with him, and then also Wriothesley's ult for a bit of extra damage. Now we refresh all of our stuff here, and then we should be able to take him out. Just Shenhe EQ. Swap back to Wriothesley, and let's see, can we clear in under a minute? Charge attack, and the answer is yes, we can. We clear in exactly 59 seconds, so just under a minute, which means every single Wriothesley clear has been under a minute. We take those for sure. Anyway, once again, we just align these guys up, although these guys do have their little grapple attack, so they do move a fair bit, which is slightly annoying. I will be honest, I hate the Yamkusor boss. I feel like its first phase is really easy, but then once you stun it and then it starts spinning, it can be really annoying unless you have a shield. Now, of course, I do have Arlecchino's C1, like I said, so I could just take some hits because I won't get staggered, but I don't want to use that. Like, kind of the main reason why I'm using my tassel is so that this runs more relatable, so it doesn't feel like I'm using her C1. So I probably will just switch off when that does happen. You know what, I'm just gonna E here. We do have our ult on Xiangling, which is nice. So let's just go ahead and use that. Very nice. And then we get all of our Bond of Life on Arlecchino as well. I did see a 110k hit there, 93k as well. We take those. Okay, he's gone down already. Perfect. And okay, yeah, just finish off all of our Bond of Life there. I'm gonna Q again so that we can get our Xiangling ult up sooner. I just love the EQE on this team because it does feed Xiangling a lot of particles. Although, I mean, Arlecchino's skill just gives you so many particles. I'm just gonna ult here on Xilonen so that we can avoid some of the damage there. You know, just iframe some of the hits when he's spinning. Okay, and now we're gonna iframe this with Bennett. Perfect. Refresh our skill. Swap back to Arlecchino. Refresh our skill as well. And then I think I forgot to use Xilonen. I definitely did that. I think that's why we're not doing as much damage. Xilonen skill. Okay, we're gonna miss Xilonen skill as well. Ooh, that's not good. I might have thrown a bit here. We definitely would have cleared in about 90 seconds if I didn't forget my Xilonen skill there. Very unfortunate. We will still be able to clear this. Honestly, this isn't a very clean clear. I think I would have preferred restarting there, just so that I could get a cleaner one for the footage, but honestly, we just kind of killed him there by accident, and I'm too lazy to go ahead and redo all of that, so unfortunately we are going to have to deal with that scrappy clear at the end. But hey, at least all of the Wriothesley clears were very clean, under a minute. The Arlecchino one's pretty solid as well, considering the fact that she is on a nerfed version, so this is more of a C0 R0 Arlecchino than it is a C1 Primordial Jadewing Spear like I normally run. And then also a pretty free-to-play team with 2 4 stars, and then also a very widely owned 5-star, which can also be replaced by Kazuha or Sitlali. And then, you know, all the clears would have been... The first 2 were decently clean, the last one got a bit scrappy, like I said, but even then we managed to get the job done, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, with that being said, that's the runs done, and time to move on to the character builds and Asher. Alright, well then, as you can see, both teams performed pretty damn well. I mean, Wriothesley just feels great to play in his brand new Escoffier team. Arlecchino always feels great to play, basically no matter what team you play her in. But yeah, the Escoffier and Wriothesley team is just one of my absolute favorites. I mean, Escoffier has just been great for all of the old crowd DPSs. Of course, she makes Skirk absolutely insane, but even if you don't have Skirk, any of the old crowd DPSs feel more than viable thanks to her release, which I actually quite like. But real quick, when it comes to our character build, starting off with our Wriothesley, who used to be top 2%, now it's only top 3%, I think. He is on basically 51 crit rate, plus the 36 from Marche and the 10 from Cryo Resonance, or 15 from Cryo Resonance. This does end up being over 100 when enemies are frozen or have cryo applied to them, which they always will because there's so much cryo app in that team. So he basically has a permanent 100% crit rate. If we weren't using him on Map of Mare, then he would also have around 290 crit damage as well, so 100 crit, 290 crit damage. Although in this one you can minus 55 crit damage from that. When it comes to the artifacts, Marche, double crit, double crit, double crit, double crit, and crit rate here as well. Constellation C1, like I did mention, that's why we're using the Map of Mari, and then triple crowned as well. For our Furina, she's on 64 crit rate, 183 crit damage, 222 ER, which is useful because she's the solo Hydro here, although we do have a lot of fav, including on herself. Golden Troop, once again, double crit, and then HP, double crit, as well as crit damage main piece, and then C0 once again, with 2, 9, 10 talents for our Escoffier. It's 63 crit rate, 155 crit damage, 162 ER. For the weapons, it's a level 80 Fav Lance. When it comes to the artifacts, you know, just whatever Golden Troop pieces are left over from our Fischl as well as our Furina. Constellations C0 with 110, 9 talents. For Shenhe, it's 2.8k attack, 34 crit rate for about Fav procs, 75 crit damage, doesn't really matter because she doesn't do much personal damage, and then 217 ER. Refinement 5, level 90 Fav Lance, and then 2-piece attack with 2-piece attack as well, and then also on an ER stance, although possibly could change that to an attack stance nowadays. Also C0 with 110, 10 talents. When it comes to the Arlecchino team, 78 crit rate, 208 crit damage. This would normally be over 80 crit rate thanks to Primordial Jadewing Spear, but like I said, we're not running that. We're running the level 70 R1 Wriothesley instead. Harmonic Whimsy, double crit, double crit, double crit, double crit on Pyro, off piece, and then crit damage circlet. C1, like I mentioned, hence why the Wriothesley, and then 10, 6, 6 talents. When it comes to our Bennett over here, 270 ER with about 743 base attack, because we do have a level 90 Sapwood Blade, which also gives us a bit of ER, which is nice. Noblesse also to buff both our Arlecchino as well as our Xiangling's damage. I mean, Xiangling's damage isn't the most insane because she isn't vaping anything, but C6 Bennett as well, which gives us a nice damage boost to our Arlecchino, level 13 Bolt as well. And then for our Xiangling over here, 51 crit rate will go up thanks to the catch to about 63, I think, 117 crit damage, 251 ER. Like I said, catch R5, double crit emblem, crit damage, ER on the emblem, just, getting as much ER as we can because it, Xiangling can feel pretty damn clunky. And then also C6 with 2, 5, 11 talents. And then finally, when it comes to our Xilonen, it's 43 crit because she is on Fav, 208 ER as well. Like I said, level 70 Fav on Cinder City as well. Of course, the buff both our Xiangling and our Arlecchino on triple defense, C0 with 610 8 talents. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this helpful and enjoyable. With that being said, let me know what teams you used to clear, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.